So awesome, awesome. I think we are live now. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of People Who Inspire. So, PWI series comes your way every week, and I try to get very inspirational young people whose projects, whose career path, and whose entrepreneurial proclivities serve as a source of inspiration to us all. So today I'm excited. I'm really excited to have a very industrious young man who is both a farmer, and he's also the founder of the 𝘙𝙬𝙁 and development. And so we are going to look at why he does farming and why he thinks that farming is the future. Another very interesting model we have for PWI series is that we don't just talk about a topic, but we also try to draw inspiration from the lives of our guests and how they have managed to get to where they are today. So I'm excited to have Sam here in our midst. So hello, Samuel, welcome.
Hello. Greetings.
I'm
Finally,
excited.
brother.
I'm excited.
I'm
Yes,
also
finally, we
excited.
made this happen.
Yeah, it's been a while, like planning all this, trying to put day through and
Yeah,
everything, and it's a process,
yeah,
but
yeah. I'm really
I'm
excited.
excited.
How's your weekend? Do you have any
Ah,
activities for the weekend or?
yeah, I would say my weekends is quite good. Currently, I'm in 𝘿𝗵𝘆, which is Togo. Um, just wrapping up with some few experiences I'm looking to create for some packages I'm working on. So I just got from my spot of where I usually meet with other creators for us to ponder and make our content right out there and make sure whatever we planning is always right on point with the
Yeah,
background checkings. Yeah.
yeah. Man, as an entrepreneur, you're always grinding, like there's no weekend. You're always on the
it's
move.
it's no weekend. Like that's how it's supposed to be. Like because you are finding
Yeah,
your own, with your own idea, putting all these ideas out there to feed someone's relief. Like let's say for leisure, that's what we do. We create experiences for someone who wants to go on a leisure. Someone who has been
mm,
out there hustling and putting a lot of things through and is stressed out. He or she want to go out to
yeah,
chill out. Yeah, we give that best
yeah,
moment for that person. Yeah, so we
yeah.
have to
Charlie,
be
Charlie,
able to
that's
research and be able to ask people what's the new spot now, what this spot that I can feel
yeah.
to my experiences. So yeah, that's how
Wow,
it is.
wow. I'm really thankful for the fact that you also made time for us. So like you rightly said, your
Yeah.
schedule can be crazy. So to kick the conversation started, I think about a lot of the projects you share online, right? And
Right.
I personally think that you are a great source of inspiration. But before we get to what you do, right, I'm always interested in how you get to where you are. And I always create this analogy. I'm like, okay, you were born and now you are here. What has happened in between? So
In
it's like,
between.
yeah,
Yeah.
can you tell us? Yeah, it's a very long journey, but if you can summarize, for example, can you tell us where you were born, how you grew up? Are you the only child? How it was like, growing up wherever you grew up. And I always find it fascinating because there's always a correlation between how a person is brought up and what the person is doing now. So I'm always interested
Right.
in, let's say, how you grew up, how schooling was and all that. So if you can just tell us and the audience, who is Sam 𝗿𝗵𝘆?
All right, that's a very good question. I would say because in everyone's life there is always a stage. There is always a movement because even looking at how eggs are being formed, it goes through a lot of process before we get to have eggs. So I would say Sam. I grew up in the Volta region, partly in the Volta region and partly in the Eastern region. I would say. I'm born in a family of 11, but my direct siblings are three. Sorry, we are four. So
Mm-hmm.
aside being 11, like I would say, we're born in a family. A lot of people growing up. So
Yeah,
uh,
big family.
it's big. It's a
Yeah,
big family. Honestly, it's a big family.
yeah.
It's a
Wow.
quite inspiration that, I would say we didn't all grow together, we didn't all go in the same house. Sam has to go stay with their auntie, which I was part. I had to
Mm-hmm.
go stay with my auntie during my junior
Oh,
high
okay.
school. I did my junior high school in abo, which is in the Volta region,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I was born, and that's where I started my kindergarten level and I completed my junior high school in the abo. After that, I had to move to Accra.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how the
Mm.
life,
Mm.
the
Wow.
learning and everything
Wow.
start from. Like, I would say
Yeah.
me moving to Accra to stay with my auntie has really, pulled me out there. I always thank her for what she has done
Mm.
for me, because it pulled me out there to, really, let me know that in this life you have to know how to put yourself out there. It's not always about your parents.
Mm.
You have to know how to stand out there and be able to, put yourself through, no matter how circumstances could be. So I mean, from there we stay in Accra for some number of years, let's say about a year, sorry, and then we moved to Isawon. Yeah, that's why I started my high
Okay.
school. I did going to Prince
Oh,
Watson Memorial
okay.
Senior High School, yeah, in Isawon. So yeah, in that too, I was in the boarding house, yeah. So I supposed to stay with my auntie. Then my mom was like, you gotta focus on your studies. Like, she's not gonna let
Yeah.
me like stay in the house. She wants me to be able to knock it out there. And these challenges people face after high school, and then they have to go
Yeah.
back, rewriting remedial. I was in
Yeah.
Form 2, then SS2 as
Okay.
senior high school level 2, right? That's when I took
Mm-hmm.
my NOVDEC, because
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. Ahead of
that's when I
time.
took my ahead of time,
Mm.
because our headmaster was like, we are performing highly in school, and he
Mm-hmm.
selected four of us, like out of the same batch. He pulled out four of us that, why don't you all
Mm-hmm.
put a try on this NOVDEC thing? So we did. I mean,
Oh.
I wouldn't say our result came 100%, but we did our best,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of really prepared us ahead. And in high school, I read agriculture, but I was really much,
Mm-hmm.
into IT. But our government
Okay.
really don't have anything, featuring IT in high school.
Mhm.
So growing
Yes.
up, I thought about how I perform highly in science. I am really good in science. So, so I was like,
Mm.
why don't I just, study agriculture, because I have this passion, this love of growing, and then all sorts of, really my own animals. So I was like, what, let me just put this venture in, and then, put myself into this. So I did that.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up being an agriculture student in Prince Watson Memorial Senior High School. And the funny thing I will tell you, we were only
Mm-hmm.
3 in class. That department, we were only 3.
What? Are you serious?
We were only
3, as in
like, to
just
be
3.
honest, just 3. 2 guys, including me, and 1 lady.
Wow.
Yeah, we were 3 in number.
Only 3.
And 3, and
Wow.
it's during our time of schooling, it was that time that people were really looking into, I want to finish school and become a movie star, I want to finish school to become a journalist,
Yeah.
I want to finish school to
Yeah.
become a doctor, a lawyer. They were not looking into something that they can rely on after school. So you could see
After
everybody
school,
is
yeah.
everybody is switching to this general arts, stuff. Like, so when you have people in school, they'll be like, oh, I want to study general arts. So it's like, the real thing is people are not getting into something that they can put themselves in and be able to feed themselves out, which was really bad. And the government
Yeah.
was not putting any attraction into that. So I was like, you know what, I'm passionate for this, so I don't care. I don't want to follow the mass. I believe that this is what I want to do, and this is what is going to put me out there. So I don't want to follow the mass. I don't want to look at to people like, you know what,
Yeah.
my friend is doing this, why don't I join them? No.
Yeah.
I was trying to learn
You
something
follow your own
that
passion. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
that's the whole thing. So I would say I did that. Like, I follow my passion, honestly. I did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll say I didn't regret. I
Wow.
got
Wow.
I got a chance
I'm
to
really
meet some.
proud of you.
Thank you. I got a chance to meet some of my colleagues making, during back when we were in high school, they make fun of me that, oh, you nice guy, light skinned guy, with
Yeah.
spending your parents'
I didn't
money, and
agree.
you coming to and doing agric. Why a light-skinned guy will be on the farm? What do you got to do? That means you have no future. You mean you're going to
Yeah.
go to school and finish studying agric? And the school was full of DBs. We call DBs. Those who have their parents are a little
Yeah.
bit has that kind of standard. So I was
They have
like,
money. Yeah.
they have money, so they are okay. But I was like, I have a goal. I know where I'm coming from and I know where I'm going. I can't just come to this school because of the way of people, how people move from their homes, their standard. They know how they're living and how okay they are back home. I can't just move to this school and then give up on that kind of you know greatness that pushed, that really being in part of me, that I wanted to pursue agriculture. I can't give up on that. So that has really been a very great journey for me, and has really put me out there, honestly, because determination is very powerful. Determination is very
Yeah.
powerful. So
Yeah.
that has
Yeah.
really pulled me
And
through. And after that, I had
and
to.
you said you said something. I mean, you said something that caught my attention, right? And
Right.
it's something that is like a theme around all the speakers that I get to speak with. There's always that auntie or that uncle who like plays a pivotal role in almost all of my guests. And that kind of brings
Right.
me to that African proverb that says that it takes a community to actually, bring up an individual, right? And
Individual.
I,
It's
I
true.
just want to maybe ask something there, like what exactly did your auntie do, right, that you feel, provided that foundation for you to be where you are today, before we continue?
I would say my auntie, she did a great job. Like, when I say great job, she put me out there in terms of making me responsible for everything I'm capable of doing. She gave me that responsibility, that training, that upbringing. When you're growing up with your parents, my parents did the best in everything. I give the credit to them, and I give the credit to my auntie too. But the
Mm,
kind of training that I went through with her has really, really put me difference among my has brought a huge difference among my siblings. I would say that because it
mm,
has really made me to be able to stand no matter how harsh, no matter how difficult circumstances could be. Like, I can survive through. Growing up with them has really been very quiet. She, really
wow.
pulled me out there. Letting me to
Wow.
know,
Wow.
doing your responsibilities, let's say about the house choice, making sure that whatever you're
Mhm.
doing is a responsibility to you, and you have to make sure you deliver it at the right point. Yeah, so I would say that part too has really,
Yeah.
really put me out there, you know.
Awesome. Awesome. And so from SS, what happened afterwards? I know you said you decided to go into farming. So you finished senior high
Yeah.
school.
So
So what happened?
after SS, I pick up these factory jobs where they were into processing of farm produce. Like, I did that for some quite time. I was still applying for my agricultural college.
Yes.
So in the frame of preparing, we can't finish high school. It's a thing in Ghana that you can't just finish high school and expecting your parents to take care of everything that will be needed for you to go to the college or
Yeah.
the university. So I take
Yeah.
that responsibility up to myself to work hard, make that revenue, and also fund partly of my college fees. So I got admitted to Ohawu Agricultural College in the Volta region,
Mm-hmm.
which is not really. It's like me coming back to Abo. It's like another
Yeah.
migration. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
really
Okay.
far. It's just a few kilometers away. So
Okay.
I got admitted to that school. It's all practical. You understand? It's all practical. I'll
Oh,
say,
okay.
because
Okay.
it puts you out there, like, hands on the field job. Like, it's a school that
Wow.
is not basically about you reading and not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, like true
It's
and
a school
poor
that
kind of thing.
true employer. It's a school that is really putting you out there for you to be able to read and understand what you are doing. If you're reading
Mm,
about how to plant maize, the distance, the planting measures, and all this, you're going to practice on the field. If you're reading
wow.
about how to prepare your landscape, you're going to practice on the field. and it's all part of what you're studying. So after finishing the school, you know that you have something to carry home. You're not just coming to gain the knowledge and sit back home and be expecting the government to employ you. So it's
Wow.
that school has also been part of me. I met a lot of folks. Like I would say, currently my farm manager was I was a year ahead of him.
Oh, wow.
That
That's
yeah,
interesting. So if you've been
yeah.
employed, like, like your schoolmates who, wow.
It's yeah. We kind of come together to partner to
Mm,
reason through,
mm,
because that's a lot of resources. After that, there's no job in the system that can employ you. So when you be able to feature something that will really be able to benefit us all, why don't you put your friend in, a good friend that you know that he's capable of what to do, he's responsible of what to do. So
exactly.
I had to involve a friend of mine. He's a junior, Joseph, who was a shout out to him. um
Yeah, shout out
I
to
have
Joseph.
to, yeah, I had to put him through into it too. So I would say, like I
Wow.
said, after that, we did service. He was also the same station they posted us to do on national service. And after national service, that's where the whole ball game has to start. But do you know one thing?
Uh-huh.
After we starting national service was when I got the idea of starting tourism. That's when I got the
Oh,
idea of
okay, okay,
starting
okay.
tourism. So I was in school during my last year in school. I started researching. I got part in all these travel groups on Facebook, and I got to showcase what I have. And when I say how 𝘿𝙧𝗪𝗏 came to them was an inspiration, but this inspiration is a whole blend. If I want to zoom
Wow.
into it, but I'm definitely
Yeah,
going to
that's
zoom into
another,
it because
yeah.
that's another stage out there, because 𝘿𝙧𝗪𝗏 came about, let's say, 4 years ago. 4 years
Okay.
ago, yes. 4 years ago, that was when I had a full grant registered business and a permit to operate business in Ghana. And before that, 4 years ago, I was doing tourism on the low. Wasn't that really a big
Oh, okay.
time?
Okay.
Wasn't really a big
Okay.
time thing I was doing, but I was doing it on the low. But the first project I had was through tourism, which was the Pineapple project.
Okay. Okay.
So, so,
So
so
okay, so
how?
so if I may ask, right? So you do ecotourism, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm trying to and I think this is what fascinates me, because that's really smart, because you
yeah.
have the agricultural background, you're a farmer, and then you
Mm-hmm.
added tourism to that aspect. So
All
that
right.
for me is like really, really like thinking outside the box. So my question here is like, what triggered the tourism? Why tourism? I mean, you're doing farming, and all that, but you're like, okay, let me do tourism, and not just any tourism, but eco tourism. That for me
Tourism.
is super smart. So like, what triggered, that idea?
You know, I would say growing and let's say farming in general, it's not always about the food aspect too, but it brings it's something about the mind. When I say it's something about the mind, it's not limited to we just growing, because people are very anxious. Let me tell you one thing about how we put this ecotourism together. Now it's not agritourism.
Mhm.
Now it's not agritourism. There are people that are living outside this country that know that pineapple is grown on a plant, like pineapple is grown on a plant or a stalk.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know. People thought pineapple is grown on a tree. People don't know anything called cassava.
Okay, I get it now. I get it now.
There are people who are
Wow.
living in this world that don't know the block orange on a tree. There are certain things
Mm.
people don't know about. To be honest with you, like people know of this staple crop, corn. They know, let's say people in the state, they know that corn is being grown and harvested, but they don't know that pineapple, this is how it's being grown. So I
Okay,
thought
I get
about
it
this
now.
idea, like, when this is a research I did, to recollect all the tourists operating companies that are in Ghana, are they into agritourism? Are they really doing ecotourism? Because agritourism is not really big in Ghana. But
Okay.
with ecotourism and agritourism have the same fusion. It's more about the ecology. It's more about relating to nature. And agritourism is also relating to nature, but it has its own diverse ways where you get to put people have hands-on the field, like field visit. You get to know about all this. But ecotourism came in existence when I'm fusing the ecology studies about plants, ecology studies about people getting to discover some things that they eat, but they don't know how it's being put out there. So that's how I came up with the ecotourism aspect, because it's really helping. People don't really just know that, oh, I bought pineapple from the grocery shop, but I don't know how it's been grown. I don't know what they put into pineapple. I don't know what futures is being added. I don't know how it's been grown. So ALL Culture came into existence to showcase that to everybody, to showcase that to our tourists. So recently we started packages that are selling for ecotourisms, which are featured in agritourism too. So part of ecotourism packages are more of the agritourism, where we bring tourists to the field, our own fields, not um other fields, but we do cooperate with other farms too and other industries too, for them to learn post harvest, and also for them to learn hands-on practices too on the field. So yellow culture development has this uh widening project, which was the first project I would say we got with our first clients from the states, and they also invested into two slots of our pineapple farms project. And now currently these two ladies are now owning 8 acres of pineapple farm. And what we do is we grow for them and we sell for them, and we have them know the number of profit they are making. It's, your voice is cut a little bit far.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Nah, it's still down a little bit.
Can you hear me better now?
It's still down.
I'll try to can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just saying, like you said, ecotourism and agritourism
It's still down. Okay. Laptop cable. My laptop. Can't bring the entire.
So can you hear me now? Can you
Yeah, I
hear me
can
now?
hear you now. Perfect. Yeah, I can hear you
Okay,
now.
perfectly. I think there was a technical issue. So, and this really gets into the topic that we are discussing today, because you made a very profound statement that you got eventually got investors out of ecotourism. So these were people who had come to you for ecotourism, and then they visited the farms. They got very impressed, and then they decided to invest into these farms through your organization. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And
Wow.
some of them, I would say the first I would go, what they didn't even, they weren't in the country. The secret here is the first people
Wow.
I got who invested into a pineapple farm, which I partnered with my, uh, course mate back then. They didn't invest. They weren't in the country. There was this group that we were talking about. What they were looking at, what can they do to invest into Ghana? Invest what investment opportunity do you have? And I was in tourism, so I was really on looking for people to visit Ghana. And I was like, look, I'm a farmer. I can help you with a budget score and prepare a project proposal and everything for you to invest and
Wow.
grow. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, sure. I have a friend that is also looking to join. So these two people came together. They came together. I was like, Sam, we are trusting, though they haven't seen me in person, they trusted in me with the process, and they started, their
Wow.
first deposit. That was kind of mind blowing, because these people haven't been to the country and they don't ever meet me in
Wow.
person, and they put it out there because there was a trust. They
Yes.
trusted the process. They know I wasn't, the first thing they noticed was my email I gave to them was with my name. As
Mm.
seen on my Facebook, as seen on every part of uh my documentations. So they were like,
Wow.
they want to invest. So I was like, wow. So I pulled in my friend, and that's how we started the first project. And later, after
Wow.
the first harvest, we planted and they came to visit, and they were like very impressed. The first harvest, we harvested and I showcased whatever we did to saw they saw the profits, and and I was like, are you looking to invest more? And they were like, yes, they want to reinvest whatever profit they made. And they did, and that was the expansion that we came through. Like we kept extension, like we did extension of the field of the field, through whatever they invested. So that was the first starting, and after that we have extra, like we have more people coming.
Wow.
Somewhere in the countries, some came and visit, some they were on my tours, and they were like, look, I want to invest. And
Wow.
that was the whole process. Like that was how we started. And same as we start with our recent cassava plantation, which harvest will be due, in some weeks to come. So it's like the whole process it's quite
Wow.
interesting. And I would
Wow.
say tourism has
Wow.
put me out there.
Wow. So I think what I'm learning from your experience is that we need to be strategic with this whole, there's this whole, let's say, focus on agriculture, youth in agriculture. I think the whole focus has been just getting the youth some land for them to farm. But your approach for me looks very innovative, where you use the ecotourism approach, because people in the diaspora have the finance, they have the financial capability to invest in like farms in Ghana. So once you said like something important, once you're able to build that trust, then there's that inflow of funds through ecotourism, and then through this ecotourism you are able to establish farms. So can you tell me about, let's say, what you're farming now? I think my audience would like to know. So currently, what crops are you focused on? How large is the farm? And is your, let's say, your market local or international? And just a bit about your farm so far. I have some photos also on the screen, so as you are speaking I'll be
Yeah.
showing them.
Okay. All right. So firstly, we start from where we started first from, which is the pineapple farm. We are really, ranging from 16 acres and above. We're still planting. So I would say 16 acres. We're still leasing more lands, because we don't buy the land. because these are contract based. We have to put out there whatever communication we're having with the landlords. I would say
Okay.
those who owns the land. We let
Yeah.
our clients know that, look, we are not going to buy the land from you for you. We're going to lease the land for you. So that means whatever account you put into this is not going to be a huge amount of money that you're going to be like, I'm going to buy a farmland. I'm going to buy. We tell that, look, we're going to use this land for 3 years, and if we're looking to use the same land again, we extend our contract with the landlords. So that's what we do. Apparently now we just got down with some few harvests, and we are looking to so we lands in our trying to get more contract, and how we get land. It's a problem because where the pineapple farm, I would say, is sited. It's not really, it shares borders between the eastern and the greater Accra region, and I would say and I would say growing pineapple, you have to be very selective about the climatic conditions. You have to get a favorable climatic conditions for these plants, because you can't just grow pineapple at anywhere. If this is business you're doing, this is investors' business you're doing, so you have to be selective. So I would say we're heading 16 acres and more, and currently our recent project was a cassava, which is 10 acres, and we're still
Cassava. Oh,
preparing land.
okay.
Yeah, cassava. We're growing one type
So
of
there's a
one
market
type.
for cassava, right?
Yeah, there's a huge market. People don't know.
Wow.
I would say cassava will soon be a white gold in Ghana if you don't really open
Really?
up to speed up. Yeah, and one thing I'll say about the pineapple, which I didn't added earlier, is we have two markets. We have the export and the local. And the local too, we have the industries, and we have the local markets too. The market women who always come to buy too on the field. Like the woman you saw on you displaying on the screen smiling, that was her truck leaving the farm. The one beside the truck.
Wait,
yeah,
the one beside the truck. Okay.
Yeah, the
This
one beside the truck.
Yes, the one beside the truck.
Leaving.
Oh, so that's her product. So she came to buy all that.
Yeah, she came to buy like 2 of that truck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, huge truck. She came to buy 2. They come in numbers. So during our harvest, they come in numbers. So
wow.
That was then. And for the cassava, it's a white goodies. Cassava is a type of crop that people don't really have that attention on it. Like, oh, is this something that is really fetching? Because we as Ghanaians, we don't have that processing backgrounds. We don't have that ideas that we can process certain plants to really process into nice or good finishing products. Or we can process. All we know about 𝘾𝑎𝑟𝑖 is the cassava dough what we know about cassava is the cassava dough and 𝘾𝑎𝑟𝑖.
Yes, that's all.
That's the only thing we know. But if I tell you what Chinese, or if I tell you what the Chinese do with cassava now, it will mind blowing. There is this huge demand. Huge demand in China that there are Chinese folks tripping into the country for seeking ideas from our innovation centers, looking to establish mini dryers and mini processing machines on each district based level. There's something big coming in cassava. Yeah, I was on this field which was owned by the Chinese folk. They have over 10,000 acres of cassava plantation field. I was
10,000 acres.
I was like, wait, this is 10,000 acres. They were like, yeah. It was like, they're still planting. There's nothing. They have. I was like, look, so is this owned by a Ghanaian? They're like, no. You see, all these people are all Chinese, and these people don't even speak English.
Wow.
You know what thing I said to myself? I said to myself, it's like, if these people can speak English, then how are they doing this big? Earlier before I visit, I had some folks from Netherlands who came, looking. They had partners in China who were also looking for cassava samples. So I did some sampling, and I had some of the the flour shipped to China for them to run the test. And they were like,
Okay.
they're looking to buy a flour of 40-foot containers every 3 months. I was like, what? 40 foot every 3 months? I was like, really? They were like,
Wow.
yeah, they don't, if there's enough, they can buy. So I tried asking that, what is this guys going to use this? They were like, they're going to use this thing to process into, paint. They use this same cassava for paint because the starch level.
Okay.
They use it for all kind of things, and then they process this. They even use it to. They say they use it for plastic materials. So I was like, God, this really got my attention. I was like, plastic materials. They were like, yeah, they use it for the fiber in it is being extracted for other things. I was like, okay.
Wow.
They were like,
I never knew this.
The same things are going to be shipped to us in Africa to buy. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. The same things are going to be shipped to Africa for us to buy. And I was like, so these guys will come and buy. And I don't feel sad within myself about that, because we need to put things on ground. We need to put our minds on ground and be able to read.
Yeah.
And we don't have to limit ourselves into showcasing. Like, we have to be able to delve into a lot of things that will really benefit the country and benefit us, the youth too, because we have been limited to, we have put limitation in certain things. Growing up, we have put limitation, and if we'll be able to stand up now and discover all these things, it will help us. So I'll say that the cassava I'm growing up, my goal is to sell into these factories that are really processing, and they are all Chinese factories, because it's also business.
Wow.
It's also a business with few.
I mean, imagine 40-footer container of cassava powder every 3 months. Like that's we are talking about multi-million-dollar like projects here. I mean, if you're able to supply the Chinese market, for example, that is, oh man, that's gold.
And I got pushed back because where I started my cassava farm is a high cassava growing community in the Volta region. They're really high in growing cassava, very well. All that areas they grow cassava. And one thing that gets me sad is when they finish growing cassava, what do they process it into? They process it into 𝘾𝙬. They process it into cassava dough. And when they take this to the market, the market price don't really help them. They get turned down by the market prices, which is really bad. They'll be like, oh, I don't know, even I'll just stick to doing my cassava dough. So it's a challenge now, because everyone is harvesting cassava. Once they harvest, they're taking it to the Chinese factories, which are really close by, because they know that I don't have to stress myself peeling this cassava and grating it before selling. Once I harvest, I'm putting it in my truck and I'm taking it to these farms, these processing plants, and they'll buy it from me, and I have my cash. What I need to cover is my transportation. So I'm happy these Chinese are there. People will say it's not a good idea, but I'm happy they're helping these people. They're helping these people
because they are ready to buy.
Harvest losses.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
They're reducing post-harvest losses too.
Yeah.
I
think that's clear. I mean, as you're speaking, right? I was really thinking, as we are looking at, let's say, why farming is the future. You've given us a very, like, personally, I have learned something new altogether, right? About cassava, about how you are able to merge ecotourism with foreign direct investment that kind of fuels into investing into farms in Ghana. So for me, that's like something I'll have to really, really think about. That it's something I never thought about. Now, when I think about the future of farming, right, a lot of times we just focus, and like you said something very profound as well, that we kind of are skewed towards a very, let's say, myopic understanding of how to, for example, process cassava. Like we always say, okay, it has to be 𝘾𝙬 or cassava dough. So when I think about the future of farming, right, apart from the fact that farming is the only means by which we are going to feed the population, from your point of view, beyond we eating the produce from the farm, why do you think farming is the future? Like, is it because industries will need farm outputs, like you mentioned, using cassava for for paint and stuff like that? Like, or is it because it's going to provide a lot more employment, or is it because it's going to if we focus on farming, we are going to reduce post-harvest losses, like you said, or we are able to create new markets? Like, from your point of view and with your experience, right, why do you think farming is the future? Why not medicine, or why not, like you said, growing up being a lawyer, why not law? Why farming?
Yeah, I think this is an inspiration from my ancestral books that I've been reading. This quite really give me an inspiration. Let's say about the oldest profession in the Bible, which is agriculture. I will say about that too. And in part of our life, we need a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how it is. 3, 4, 5 times in a day, we need a farmer. Why I say that is
Yeah.
because we need a farmer. We need to eat 3, 4, 5 times in a day. We need a farmer. So quite imagining that, if farming don't have any ground in our life, it tells us that there are a lot of things that we're gonna be losing in the near coming future. Because let's take Ghana like this. If we are not fueling the youth, we are not really, engaging them, we are not really advising them to venture into agriculture, and they are venturing into other means, they are venturing into other investments, they are venturing into other sectors. That means we're probably going to work and have the money, but we don't have the food to eat.
The food, exactly. Yeah.
We'll probably be looking up to other neighboring countries, which is already happening in Ghana, that we have to go to Burkina Faso to buy tomatoes. This is a big
Tomatoes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's already happening. So it's like, this is a high time for us, we the youth, to discover that there's something big coming. Because as more as we keep building, as more as we keep investing to real estate and all that thing, it's the same pattern as we farming. Because each day in and day out, we need to feed the nation, and each day in and day out, the restaurants also need us, the food vendors also need
Yeah.
us. I always tell someone, there's nobody that sets up a restaurant company, a restaurant, or a mini food restaurant, whatever, a chop bar, and run at loss.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's
Yeah.
always people coming to buy from you. So I believe that feeding, it's our responsibility for we the farmers. And there's one thing I always say to people, that is, farming, it's one of the noble professions that we all have to engage in. Being it you being a president, being you being a pastor, if a little backyard garden helps you a lot to save money, the plots of land you grow your maize and harvest on it helps you in a lot of ways. So believing the fact that farming is the future, it is the future, because we have to we have to accept it and buy it, because we need farmers every day. And
Yeah.
at this point now, to farming has a lot of ways. Like, when I say it has a lot of ways, medicinal purpose, we derive all that from
Yes.
field. We grow herbs, we
Yeah.
grow dieting and everything, all those things we take in, all those medicines we take in, those plant-based medicine, are all from the farms. So
Yeah.
I would say it's very important that we all engage into farming.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
people don't
I
have
fully
the
agree.
background. Yeah, people don't have the background, but they always seek advices from people. So, no matter how passionate you are, no matter how you know how driven you are about farming, don't have this knowledge about, I don't know about farming, so I can venture into it. I know this young man that has quite inspired me, Mr. Sapia. Mr. Sapia, he's into cassava farming. Big, he's big into
Oh,
cassava
okay.
farming. he told me, I was looking at his video, and he was like, you know what, I studied IT in King University, but one thing I believe in, I don't believe that I need to learn based on the thing before, but I believe in putting things together to work.
Wow.
Huh. So if he is putting things together to work, like he said he's putting things together to make it work. So he has that momentum at the stage at which he's very optimistic about what he's doing and what he can derive out of it. So I'm urging everybody that, see, don't let the limitation of you passionate about farming stop, but rather, seek advices. That's why we have extension agents out there. Seek advices from them. Let them know that, look, I want to go into farming. I want to start as little as I can. I want to put this test out there. Let me see what I can derive into it. And I believe you'll never be ashamed of what you do, but rather be happy, because it pays so well to invest into farming.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very significant, let's say, a comment that you have given there. When I personally look at the space that we are in, or let's say the kind of environment we find ourselves in, there's this like notion about farming that it is people who don't have, let's say, a white collar job, or people who don't like people who kind of don't get anything within the corporate world, who end up being farmers. But I think that you've really given us something to think about, that the approach to kind of encouraging young people to get into farming, I think we are getting it wrong, because I like your approach where you used ecotourism, right, to really draw foreign direct investment and then build trust to get people to invest, because again, farming is capital intensive. So if you are able to build that trust, through ecotourism, letting people admire what we have in our country, then that admiration converts into investment, because then you're like, oh, okay, Ghana grows cocoa, Ghana is capable of growing cassava or pineapples or whatever it is, and then get excited and able to invest into it. So I mean, before we get to the questions, so I think there are some comments that are coming up. We'll get to that. Before we get to that, right? And I'm going to, let's say, provoke you a bit, right? Do you think that a farmer in Ghana can be a billionaire?
Yes, very, very, positive about that. A farmer in Ghana can be a billionaire 100%, but you can't just start going and be relying on somebody to just walk to the farm or grow farm. I always tell my folks that, see, you can't grow and go and sit in the market that you are selling. You go and sit in the market that you are selling, or you go and put it like the locals. Like, I know you've been traveling on these roads. You see how people showcase their plantain and everything on the road. That is a wrong way of that's a wrong way of marketing. That is one thing that don't attract people to venture into farming. Why I say that is, marketing it plays a huge role in farming. Marketing has a very diverse way at which you have to source out, because firstly, before you have to go into any produce you want to grow, you have to be able, with any crop you want to grow, you have to be able to seek market availability, which is very important. I always tell people that, look, if you want to grow maize, make sure there's a market available for that maize you grow. 100% one, of course, and don't just rely on one sector or one buyer. Probably have 2 or 3 buyers, because it's a stage at which people will be like, oh, I want to buy it, and when you're ready to sell, they will be like, oh no, sorry, they'll be like, oh no, I can't buy. I have bought from a friend. I just bought it from a friend. I can't buy from you. I think there's no market available for you. Because I was recently harvesting, which is one of the saddest experience I encountered. I was recently harvesting on the pineapple farm, and I had to go see a neighbor farmer. and he
Mm-hmm.
was lamenting on the field. Imagine
Oh.
over 2 acres of sugar MD2 pineapple variety all got rotten on the farm.
Oh no.
And I was trying to really dive into all the situation. This guy took over 17K loan from an
Oh.
association. That association, they are the one going to buy the pineapple from you. So what the association is doing, he's acting as an outgrower for that
Yes.
association. So the association is going to help him sell his produce to a factory. And now the factory that they are
Okay.
relying on came to tell them that, look, we don't have any orders to process pineapples. What are you going to do?
Oh.
And that particular pineapple he's growing is not suitable for the local market. It's only suitable for the processing factories because it gets spoiled easily. And growing that particular variety of pineapple is capitally intensive. When I talk about capitally intensive, it's like
Oh.
three times expensive than what we grow.
The
Because
usual
our
one.
market,
Wow.
the usual, we grow sugar loaf, and sugar loaf is very good for juicing companies. It's good for export. It's good for local market. But what he's growing is good for the factories who have those particular order, because they have what he's growing has a high
Okay.
bricks. When I talk about the high bricks, is the sugary level. He has a high bricks.
Okay.
But at that point, my brother was really lamenting because he has run totally at loss. Just imagine
Oh. Oh.
17K from an association. That association pass has a link to a bank that sorts out. And your
Yes.
promise is once you
Yes.
harvest, you have to fund that back. And that 17K is not just the 17K alone. He also invested his labor, his little all his little monies, his transportation to and fro to the farm. He invested all that into
Yeah.
that. And just imagine, it's like, whoa. I
Wow.
was like, that. So I
Wow.
believe a farmer can be a billionaire in Ghana, but you have to step up in your marketing ways. If you want to be a billionaire, you have to be able to know how to market your produce. You can't just harvest
Market.
and go and put it on the roadside or put it in the market, in the open market. No, I won't guarantee that for you. Selling the open market is
Wow.
good, but make sure you are not selling for, let's say you're harvesting pineapple over 3 acres. You're not selling the 3 acres in the local market. You make sure you have someone who is coming to buy bulk, like a big
Okay.
truck, the whole 3 acres at the big truck. That one, you have your money, you cash your money out. You don't you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about however
Yeah.
he or she's going to sell it out there. You already sold your stuff to him, your produce to
Mm.
him or her. Like, you done with that. So it's about pushing and gaming in your product, your marketing, uh, aspect is very important in farming.
Mm.
So with that
Wow.
too, I would
Wow.
say a farmer can be a billionaire, 100% sure.
Yeah. So for those of you watching, I mean, we've heard from the farmer himself. So it's possible to be a billionaire. I always think about this, like what would incentivize people to get into farming? I mean, if there's a prospect that one day I can also be financially stable through farming, then definitely go for it. So as we've just heard, yes, a farmer in Ghana can farm and be a billionaire, provided he's able to market his produce very well, and he's able to diversify how he's able to sell the produce. So if you're watching us, this is People Who Inspire. My guest is 𝗪𝗺. He's an amazing person. We've learned about how he's both a farmer and an entrepreneur. He started 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗄𝗏 as well, and he also grows pineapples and cassava for both the local and international markets. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to send them through. If you want to get hold of Sam, maybe you're watching and you want to contact Sam and his company, you can see on the screen the contact details. So I'm going to just read the website as well. So www.𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗂𝗪.com. And then the mobile number is +233 24606 1372. So you can reach Sam and his team. Maybe you are in the diaspora watching this, you are somewhere in the US or in Europe, and you want to undertake some form of investment into the farms that Sam is running, or you want to do some eco tour, you want to visit Ghana or some parts of West Africa, because his company actually covers West Africa as well. So you want to visit West Africa and do some ecotourism, Sam is your guy. If you have any comments and you have any questions, this is the time to send them through. So Sam, I'm going to actually put on the screen some of the comments that we are having, just so you know people are actually watching you. So I think the first comment we got was from, I think, 𝗪𝗵𝘆 𝗙𝗵𝘆. She was saying hello when she first dialed in. And then we also have Joseph Nuwaza. He said, my boss is on the show, so I'm guessing you know him.
Yeah, that's Joseph, my farm manager. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is Joseph. Oh, the Joseph you mentioned that you went to school with him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shout outs to you, Joseph. Shout outs to you. Yeah, that's awesome. And then we also have Ayele Joycelyn. She says trailblazer. And then we also have I think KB also came in and said hello. So there are a few comments like this just coming through regarding the conversation we are having. So we have just 2 minutes. So we've talked about your whole journey, how you went through school and you did agric science, and then I think now you're also studying IT. If you can, something studying something at IT. So can you just maybe tell us a bit about what you're studying now?
So IT has been part of my journey. I was passionate in IT, like I said earlier on, that I've been really driven by IT. But my goal is to develop means of, since this world is evolving in a technological way, my goal is to put out there, systems that can really enhance the local farmers to be able to, grow without, the goal is to, minimize labor, and minimize, people's assistance. You don't need to go out looking for somebody to come and look at this for you to do, but we want to create a system that will help you be able to use your own device at your own means to be able to diagnose any symptoms or any challenges you face and get an answer at your own. So my intention is, since I'm studying computer application, which probably be a software engineer, my major is to be in artificial intelligence. So with artificial intelligence, so I'm trying to come up with a system to help, communicate with the local farmers, because some of them can read or write. So the goal is once I have a system that for them to speak, no matter how, local, like I'm going to have a convertible way of them, no matter how, wherever you are, no matter local language you can speak, this system can interact with you based on your local dialect. I'm trying to come up with that idea. So it's one of my journeys, and I'm very honored that Amity University enrolled me, which I was under the evokes scholarships. And
wow, man, that's huge. That's huge, bro. That's huge. And I think that you rightly said that the fusion of technology into agriculture is the future, because you rightly said there are so many variables, so many unknowns with farming in developing countries. I remember some time back, I actually did a project where we worked with local farmers, and it's amazing how, some of the farmers, they don't even know, they can't write their own names, So imagine how can they even negotiate, for example, with industries if they cannot even write their own names? How can they even read the contracts? How can they understand the terms of reference? So if there's an artificial intelligence, system that is able to translate all these complexities that are found in a formal environment into their local dialects, then for me, I think you're on the right track. definitely on the right track. There's another comment from Joseph. So I think Joseph is also here. It says, in fact, you are blessed, Chairman. So, I think Joseph is really, yeah, cheering you
A
on.
big
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of comments coming through. So, this is the final thing for from my side. So, Sam, can you how do people find you? I mean, I've shared your website and your number, but is there like a physical location that people can come, or an office, of sorts that
yeah.
people
But first,
can come to? Yeah.
the pandemic has been a challenge for us, so I'm probably working
Okay.
from home
Okay.
now.
From yeah,
That has been
virtual.
a
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
true.
So the best, yeah, virtually. So the best way for them to reach out to me is through my numbers and through my
The
email and
number.
through my
Okay, that
social
I've put.
handles. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's perfect. So please, if you're watching this, you want to reach out to someone, you want to find ways to collaborate or to invest, into the farms that he's doing. I mean, and for me, what I'm taking home, like really, is cassava. Like I never thought of cassava the way you explained it to us today. So I mean, for those of you watching, as Sam has said, cassava is the white gold now. So if you want to maybe send down like $100,000 to invest or whatever it is, no matter how small or how big it is, you can reach out to someone. The number is on the screen, and then you can also visit their website. You can also find him on Facebook and social media, Sam 𝗪𝗵𝘆, and then that will be okay. So Sam, what would be your final words to our viewers who probably they have now been energized to start farming? What would be your final words of encouragement to them?
I would say it's your passion. When you're passionate for everything, that you're really passionate for something that you really cherish and you believe that that's what you can do and make it out there. Go for it. Passion pays. When you're passionate, you deliver best of all. Don't let others decide before. Don't let others switch out to the green light before you also move. You have to go in your own space, and as you discover what you passionate about. Let's say it's farming. You have to go and be able to which you want to grow and harvest. You probably have to do your research and do your research properly because it's an investment. Your time pays, so you have to be able to put that out there. Your time is really important. So let your passion lead you, and then always remember that it's time. So you have to
Yeah.
invest and invest well.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Sam. So I'm very appreciative of the fact that you made time to be on the PWI series, People Who Inspire series, and you are a true inspiration. And for those of you who joined us, who stayed throughout the discussion, I'd like to also thank you, because I mean, without you, there is no PWI series. So I'd like to thank you all who stayed and who have been on this journey with us from the beginning up until now. So God willing, next week I'm going to also have our next guest. So make a date with us and make sure to follow me on all the social media platforms. You can also check out my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and then type in PKB where you can easily find me. So the URL or the link is on the screen now. That's the YouTube channel where I also tackle other topics that can help you as an entrepreneur, or if you're a leader or a team leader, or you want to start your own company and stuff like that. I have various topics that I've captured on the YouTube channel. And so, yeah, it's been a great time. For those of you who joined, I'm very appreciative of your time. And so, Sam, thank you very much. And then I wish you a great time, a great weekend. And for those of you watching, I wish you all the best. We'll meet again next week.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you. I
bye.
appreciate that. Bye bye.